If you're looking for a lightweight hunting scope and don't want to give up tactical scope features, Leupold's VX 6HD scope lineup is a great option. They just came out with the Gen 2. We're going to look at that in this video. Hey guys, Gavin Gear here from UltimateReloader.com. We have shown Leupold's VX5 HD here on the channel, and we absolutely loved that scope for the hunting application. Guy Miner, for instance, has taken it hunting on more than one occasion and was really impressed. He's kind of a Leupold guy when it comes to his hunting rigs anyways, right? Here we've got the Gen 2 version, which was just announced this year, and this is the 3-18x44. Let's see what's in the box. So inside the box, we've got the optic, which includes built-in throw lever. Absolutely love that. We've got a flip-up cap in the front and a flip-open cap in the back as well. Really nice. There is a special tool for the battery compartment for the included button cell battery that's going to run the illuminated reticle. And then we've got our printed materials. What I'm going to do next is find a rifle to put this scope on. Well, here it is. The rifle I chose for this scope evaluation is our pristine long-action Wuchs Superleggera carbon 6-barrel Area 419 muzzle brake equipped 280 AI. What a great hunting cartridge. The 280 AI gives you similar performance to 30-06, but with a 7mm projectile and a 40-degree shoulder. It's a cool cartridge. It offers more velocity and a little bit less recoil under most circumstances. We've also got the Bixen Andy Dakota hunting trigger, a Hawkins Precision Hunter magazine and Hunter DBM. Really low profile, but you can still get a good purchase on that. Superleggera has, in my opinion, one of the best looking hunting stocks out there. And we've also got an adjustable cheek riser. This rifle shoots really well. We were able to get a 1/2-inch group out of this carbon barrel lightweight Hunter when we were shooting at 100 yards. But the scope that we used when we were doing this shooting was a bit overkill. We had a trigger cam on there. It was a larger, higher magnification scope, which is fine for shooting off the bench. But for a lighter weight hunting rifle like this, I felt like the VX6 HD was a much better choice. So mounting the scope was really straightforward. I selected the Leupold Backcountry Cross Slot 30mm rings for the VX6 HD. Everything's centered up with proper eye relief, and I've got adjustment fore aft still. A lot of different options with this long action Picatinny rail. So got things level, then it was time to go shooting. And for shooting, this time I was focused on typical deer hunting engagement, right? After we got the zero at 100 yards, which was really quick and easy, went up to the ridgeline range and ran through a couple different shooting scenarios. This included shooting offhand at 120 yards. We're using a rock chuck target that's approximately representative of deer vitals. You know, it's a little bit taller, but the central section, you know, would be a good representation of a larger deer or maybe an elk in terms of vitals. Then we went back to 200 yards and shot off the tree branch. It's kind of the kind of scenario where you're walking through the woods, you see a tree, and you want to take a shot. I also, at that 200-yard distance, decided to throw my backpack down on the ground and shoot off the backpack, right? When we're talking about hunting rifles and hunting scopes, I'm really working towards typical hunting scenarios and activities, right? I want to demonstrate what you're going to see if you are conducting the activity that this rifle and scope is really targeted towards. And that's hunting out to 200, maybe 300 yards. So speaking of 300 yards, we did lay down prone and took a couple shots at a rock chuck size target at 335. I've got an ARCA rail here on the front of the rifle, and that means it's really friendly in terms of running different bipods, that kind of thing. Overall, this rifle with this scope, I just feel like is a great combination for that type of shooting. Okay, so let's run through features and specs. The VX6HD, this model here, is a second focal plane scope, and I think especially with the fire dot reticle, which does not have holdover subtensions, that is a really great setup because you're able to see the thick lines of the reticle regardless of magnification, and you don't have to worry about inaccurate holdover settings for those reticle subtensions. This has got what Leupold calls their professional grade optical system, which is HD optical clarity and quality. There is an integrated throw lever. I love that. I love to run throw levers on all of my rifles, whether they be for hunting or for target. We've got the speed set dial. There's these little silver buttons here, and what you do is you depress the button, you flip up the dial, and that allows you to rotate it to reset your zero. You flip it back down, and it's locked. The other thing I'm going to mention is the locking turrets, right? So if we go to dial up, we press the button in, and then we get this nice click. If we want to dial for wind, we push the button and we dial, we rotate it back, and it pops back. So this is actually a lot like the Mark IV HD scope. The Mark V HD has the button for elevation, but it does not have locking windage. I think this is a really nice touch because as you're going through the brush, nothing can get upset if you've got this at zero, but it's really easy to dial when you do need to. We've got guard ion lens coating. We've got an illuminated reticle. So the fire dot reticle has illumination as a central dot, which is a really good, clean implementation for low light hunting and that kind of thing. We've got the Illumina flip back scope caps, and these have kind of a ring on the end here that you tighten and loosen. You can clock those and then lock those down. There's a button on the back to flip up the scope cap, and that means that you're going to be able to protect your optic surfaces, your lenses, and have them available at a moment's notice to look through. It's waterproof, fog-proof, and shock-proof, and it also, of course, has Leupold's lifetime guarantee. Okay, in terms of specifications, Leupold has a lot listed on their website. That's what you see here. What I did was I took the specifications that I thought were particularly interesting for hunters and kind of took that subset, and I want to talk about that now. So weight, 22.1 ounces, definitely a lot lighter than the last setup that we were using on this rifle, especially when you also remove the trigger cam, right? We use trigger cam on this, it adds a lot of weight, but it's really cool to be able to show you all what we're seeing through the scope and how the rifle reacts, that kind of thing. So quarter MOA clicks on this particular model. Elevation and windage adjustment ranges are 85 MOA or 25 mil. Eye relief at low magnification, 1.2 inches. Eye relief at high magnification is 3.7 inches. And there are a total of 8 illumination settings that are activated when you push the side button multiple times. So to recap some of the special features, we've got the speed set dial, which allows us to zero without tools, which is awesome. The Illumina flip back lens covers and the illuminated reticle. I love this package for this scope. Okay, so after we did the shooting, we put this scope on our optics test rig. This is an Ultimate Reloader exclusive. We are able to position a high quality camera behind the scope. We can move the camera less than 1/1000th of an inch to get it in perfect alignment and then run through a series of tests. We started here with tracking. And what I did was I used the numbers on the dial. So we went up 9 MOA, down 9 MOA, left 9 MOA, and right 9 MOA, right? And so we don't quite go to the 10 line here on our chart. Tracking was near perfect here, really good results. Okay, so for parallax, we take the camera, we move it 50 thousandths of an inch to the left, back to center, 50 thousandths of an inch to the right. So we have a total of 0.1 inches of sideways motion, and then back to center. And we want to see how much of a shift there is when we've dialed to 100 yards parallax. The test target is at 100 yards. Do we see much shift? Well, the answer is no, because you can see here the left 50 centered and right 50 diagrams all look basically identical. Okay, and then for image distortion, this is a really simple test. We take a frame from the test video from the optics test rig, we draw a square, and we just look for barrel distortion, pin cushion distortion, or any kind of shift here. And as you can see, all of the lines are perfectly parallel and it is distortion free, which is not a surprise. Leupold is a leader with optics and they have a very, very high quality bar. Also here we can see reticle alignment. The horizontal and vertical portions of the reticle are in perfect alignment with the test target, which was set with the level. The camera was set level, the scope was set level, and in that case, everything should line up perfectly, which is exactly what we see here. Okay, so in conclusion, this scope has an MSRP of about $2,200, and of course that means you might find it for a good bit less than that street price, depending on where you're shopping and that kind of thing. I think this represents a solid value. This is definitely a scope that you're going to step up to. That is a very decent investment. It's a non-trivial amount of cash, but this scope delivers. It delivers in weight, it delivers in features, it delivers in the performance that we saw. It is a hunting scope with tactical features, right? We see, for instance, the Mark IV HD locking windage and elevation dials. And I love that because once I get used to those features, I don't want to give them up when I'm hunting. It is feature rich in terms of standard equipment. Excellent optical performance. Unfortunately, we don't have a good way of demonstrating that with our camera because it doesn't do justice to what the eye sees when it looks through the scope. Accurate mechanical performance we saw with our tracking test and our parallax test and so on and so forth. It does have the illuminated reticle, which is always a plus. We have illuminated night targets, and if you're in that dawn or dusk scenario, right when the hunting day starts or ends, the illuminated reticle can be a big bonus. In terms of a hunting scope on a lighter weight rifle, I can't think of a scope in our collection that I would go to instead of this scope, right? It's definitely worth every penny, and what you have to do is decide, what kind of a price you can put on each shot that you get at an animal. If you've paid $30,000 for a guided hunt in Alaska, this is a small investment to make to ensure that you're confident. If you're confident in your Zero, you can be confident in this optic. And it's going to give you the features that you need to get on target. Really exciting scenario, dropping an elk, dropping a grizzly bear, whatever that happens to be. So I'm excited to use this scope some more, and as I come up on fall big game hunting season, I'm thinking about what rifle could I put this on. So what I'd like to know is, what do you think of the VX6 HD? Now there's a lot of models on Leupold's website. This is just one of those. So lots of different options, different price points, different trade-offs. What do you think of the scope that we showed in this video? What would you do with it? What would you be hunting? Drop a comment and we'll see you in the comments section. That concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're watching Ultimate Reloader on TV and want to take advantage of free resources, exclusives, and hot deals, just hold your camera phone up to the QR code, tap on the link, fill out the information, boom, you're getting Ultimate Reloader emails. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, where we've got unrestricted content, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all those channels. Ultimate Reloader also has a commercial solutions division serving law enforcement, the military, and the gun industry. We have some unique capabilities, including a comprehensive suite of recoil testing and evaluation capabilities, trigger profiling, and more. Thanks again for watching.